Hello there. Will all the PM's most recent comments on the UK leaving the EU customs union convince the Brexiteers? Theresa May told Sky News quite clearly that the UK is going to leave the customs union and has also distanced herself from the recent leaked report that has kept all the pundits so busy. Talking to the Sky News political editor Faisal Islam, Theresa May said, "We are leaving the customs union. Then we are going to negotiate a free trade agreement with the EU. It'll be a separate agreement we can negotiate." Then, referring to the leaked report, she pointed out that it does not contain analysis on the actual deal we would get, and said, "The analysis has not been completed, and it is not like the agreement we want to negotiate. We want to trade with as little friction and tariffs as possible." Her comments on the customs union are echoed by the UK Trade Secretary Liam Fox, who told Bloomberg TV, "It's very difficult to see how being in a customs union is compatible with having an independent trade policy, because we would therefore be dependent on what the EU negotiated in terms of its trading policies, and we'd be following behind that. We have to be outside of that to take advantage of those growing markets. One of the reasons we are leaving the EU is to take control, and that's not possible with a common external tariff." But the FT reports that senior Brexit officials are secretly considering whether the UK could get into a new customs union with the EU post-Brexit for the trade of goods. The FT says it has been told by 3 officials that these discussions are live, and quoted one as saying, "If we can find a way of keeping goods in the customs union and retaining some independence on trade, particularly on services, we should look at it." And the he said, she said, someone said controversy over the leaked Brexit report rumbles on. Brexit Minister Steve Baker was forced to apologise to the House after saying yesterday that he had heard rumours via Charles Grant of the Centre for European Reform that Treasury officials were cooking Brexit reports in favour of staying in the customs union. But as Guido Fawkes points out, Mr Grant did put out a tweet in July 2017 referring to a Guardian article on the subject, with the tweet saying, "This piece by @RobertsDan on how the Treasury is pushing UK government towards a softer Brexit is well informed." And Jacob Rees-Mogg is still on the trail with this one, calling it a worrying suspicion. He also said that the EU-funded CBI making statements that it's really important for the UK to stay in the customs union, followed by the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, while in Davos, calling the CBI wonderful, so we should have as soft and closely aligned a Brexit as they want, and then lo and behold up comes a leaked Treasury report saying the same thing. You just wonder whether there isn't a pattern in that, whether there isn't some orchestration rather than being an accidental constellation of the stars, he said. But he didn't lay the blame at the door of officials. He said that the blame should always lie with ministers. And we knew very clearly before the Brexit vote that the Treasury was being guided very strongly by the then Chancellor of the Exchequer, he said, and it is the Chancellor of the Exchequer who has to take responsibility for his department. So Theresa May might well find that whatever she says may not completely steady the Brexit boat. A Scottish judge, Lord Doherty, is due to give a decision next week on whether the European Court of Justice should be asked if the UK can unilaterally stop the Brexit process, says the BBC. Using crowdfunding, a group of SNP, Labour, Scottish Greens and Lib Dem politicians raised £50,000 and, backed by the Good Law Project, took their case to Lord Doherty in the Court of Session in Edinburgh to get the case referred to the ECJ, but they had to admit that the judge was sceptical about their argument. The EU Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier has said previously that the UK cannot reverse the procedure without the other 27 states unanimously agreeing, and the UK government says that reversing Brexit is not policy, so does not need testing. In good news for workers, Bloomberg says that the employment search company Adzuna is reporting that UK starting salaries have climbed to the highest level since before the Brexit vote. And Bloomberg reports the Governor of the Bank of England as saying, "The labour market has continued to tighten. We see it in a gradual firming of wages, particularly private sector wages, and particularly a firming of wages for people who are shifting work." Although wage growth still lags inflation, the signs are starting to show that wage growth is picking up at last, with Doug Munro, co-founder of Adzuna, saying, "We witnessed a few false starts with salary improvements, but they are finally showing a solid growth trajectory that is worth paying attention to." All that doom and gloom seems to be evaporating into the future as we move forward, doesn't it? And finally, for all the Remoaners out there dreaming of a second EU referendum, that ardent Tory MEP Brexiteer Dan Hannan has laid out in a very simple and persuasive way why there will be no second referendum. You will find his video in my list of liked videos below. Enjoy! So please tell us your thoughts on the PM's pronouncements on the customs union, or the leaked Brexit report and civil service impartiality, or revoking Article 50, or the likelihood of a second referendum. Thank you. Please do like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel. And when subscribing, please do remember to press on the little bell next to the subscribe button. That way you'll get an alert every single time I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching.